Hello, welcome back to Lost Aux Media, everybody. I am so happy to have you back. We got a couple of our favorite jamokes on the docket today. We got Whitney Cummings on Kill Tony. That's going to be a very interesting one. Ari Maddie really pulling out the creep moves over there. Kill Tony. Then we got a little bit of Logan Paul, just a smidge of Logan Paul. You don't want to go too heavy on Logan Paul. You know what I mean? Very small doses. That's all you need when it comes to someone like Logan Paul, okay? Then who else we got on here? Oh, in lieu of Labor Day, you know, and celebrating the American workforce, we're going to celebrate Ethan Klein's workforce, the crew of the H3 podcast, getting treated like complete dog shit. Ethan has this button that they usually press when they want to like erase some of the stuff on the live feed that before it reaches you on the delay. So when Ethan wants to like chew out his crew, bam, hits that button. For you, they do a nice little montage and everything. Audio cuts out. The crew's getting a nice little licking. But this time on their episode of Content Court when they tried to cover Jack Doherty, the button didn't work and Ethan got exposed pretty much chewing out AB live on air. And now everybody's starting to turn on the H3 show. What a shocker. What a shocker. So we're gonna, get into some really fun stuff today. And I also got a listener submission. A listener submission from I Eat Worms 88. We'll get into that a little bit later as well. Give it a round of applause. I Eat Worms 88, our very first listener submission. I very much appreciate the listeners, so thank you. I like it the way I move. I like it the way I move. I like it the way I do. I like it the way I move. Ooh, all right. So let's get into this listener submission. So I had got. Oh, actually, before we get into that, we got dropped in on by a rather famous jamoke. So I'm on Twitter, and I normally don't go too crazy on Twitter because it's like my smallest platform. So what I'll do on there is I'll post the thumbnail from the latest episode that I just recently uploaded on YouTube, and then I'll take a cut of the description from that YouTube episode, and I'll just post that on Twitter. And like I said, it's my smallest platform. I got like less than 300 followers on there. But I do it anyway just as like a benchmark. You want to try to spread the content as far as possible. Someone might happen to come across it on Twitter, right? So to my surprise, I go on there, I see a notification. One of the posts has a like. Normally these posts get like no likes, nobody's going to my Twitter page. So I get very excited. I'm like, whew, where's this like coming from? Who could it possibly be? I'm just thinking it's just some Jimmy from around the way, some regular old dude. It's not. I come to find out after taking a very, very close look at the notifications, it's Theo Von. I have a 1 like on the post, and it's Theo Von. And here's the kicker. The episode, we ended up covering Theo Von and Donald Trump's recent interview. So the whole post was kind of talking shit about him. He liked it anyway. I want to show you guys this. Look at this. I am so shocked. Theo Von has liked your post. Can you fucking believe that? I am schmitten. I'm so schmitten right now. Let's look at the post itself. This is all it is. It's just a description. It says, in this week's episode, we talk about Theo Von's painful interview with Donald Trump. Theo is known for making very outlandish jokes in the middle of his guest talking, which is not only annoying, but it throws the guests off because now they have to laugh at your stupid joke on air. Trump is not so receptive to these jokes. He seems like he wants to leave the entire time and rarely laughs at anything Theo has to say. And he liked it. I could not believe that. I was so shocked by that. So round of applause to Jamoke Theo Vaughn, I totally appreciate the likes on the post. It does not mean we will stop talking shit about you. So I hope that was not the goal, because that's just not happening. That's not the way it works around here. I don't expect to be friends with anyone. Okay? You should see my comment section. It's not that good. So, yeah, let me take a sip of this coffee, and then I want to show you this listener submission. He showed me this short on Kill Tony. Kind of cringe. So, if you remember, a little bit while ago, they did the Tom Brady roast on Netflix. I think it was actually live as well. And Tony Hinchcliffe, he was only supposed to be like a small part of that. But he ended up weaseling his way into it, going on stage. He wasn't even supposed to do his set on stage. This guy just started walking on stage. I could only imagine the stage manager was probably back there like, if somebody does not shoot this fucking guy, I will, okay? Get him off the fucking stage. But it turned out to work out in Tony's favor because he got a lot of recognition off of that. He's probably going to end up getting a multi-million-dollar deal from Netflix off of it. Who knows? So during the roast, he has this one joke where he's making fun of this fat black lesbian woman. I forget her name. Do I have it here somewhere? I don't. But he's making a joke about her, and he says, "Oh, she doesn't just eat pussy. She all hell gnaws on it." He does the whole thing. He puts his head back. He goes, "Oh," with his mouth. "Oh, hell gnaws on it." And he thought that it was like the most clever joke like that has ever been written. You know what I mean? He really was into this joke. So not that long ago, he's on Two Bears, One Cave. That was also a painful episode. We won't get into that, old news. But he's on there and he's kind of just buttering himself up in front of Tom and Burr. He's kind of just like really laying it on himself. And he starts explaining how he came up with this once in a lifetime, all hell gnaws on it joke. Right? And I Eat Worms 88 ended up submitting this clip from that. And I thought it was kind of funny because this seems like such a diluted thing to do. Wow, let's listen to him. Let's listen to him bring it up, and then we'll get into it. It sounds very cringe.
Hell Nas joke, which I knew the second it clicked in my head. Like, this sounds crazy, but I was getting a massage at the time. And I'm trying to think of a Sam J joke. What do? They eat right? But what do black women say?
So, Sam J. I don't know if you're familiar with this Sam J. That's her name. I almost forgot about that. So, I want to look her up. The first time I had heard of Sam J, it was from Jonah Hill's movie You People. She played Jonah Hill's podcast partner, which ironically enough, that movie was like not based in reality for being about a podcaster. The main goal of that guy was to get on like Complex Media or something. Like every podcaster's goal is to get onto a network. Most podcasters' goal is to have their own thing where they're the only ones making money and everybody else just fucks off. So that was crazy part of the movie right there. But she plays his black lesbian podcast partner / best friend forever. And she looked fucking ridiculous in the movie. Like, she's one of those people that I see people like this in Hollywood, and I'm like, why do they let people like that in? And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, oh, he's saying that because she's black. I'm not. I'm saying that because she looks like this. This right here, if I was somebody who was running a studio in Hollywood, I see this. I see that as a liability, right? Black, white, purple, doesn't matter. Looks like a fucking liability. Take this exact person, make their skin white. They're actually more of a liability. I would double down on not hiring that person if they were actually white. So the fact that she's black has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that she's one of these Antifa-style looking lesbians. You know what I mean? So Tony, he's like, I got to come up with the perfect joke for this crazy-ass looking lesbian. How do I do it? So he starts telling them, I was getting a massage, you know what I mean? And I came up with the joke. Listen to this bullshit.
The Sam J joke. What do? They eat, right? But what do black women say? Oh, hell no. And I'm like, oh my God, nah, Nas on it. She doesn't eat pussy, she all hell Nas on it. And I stop the massage, tell the masseuse, this perfect little like sweet, innocent. I just.
So now this is psychopathic bullshit. This is like a sociopath, right? So picture that. He is getting a massage. He's thinking to himself, how do I come up with this awesome joke? That part doesn't sound all that crazy. You know, you're thinking about a lot of stuff when you're getting a massage. If you're thinking about work, that's really not that crazy, right? So he's like, oh, I came up with this joke, right? Here's the crazy part. He says he stopped the massage. This bitch is like rubbing him down. She's like really working out the knots. She's just, you know, trying to do her job too. You might be thinking about work. She's thinking about getting off of work. So the sooner she gets this done, the better it is for her. But no, she can't do that. So he stops her in the middle of the massage and he goes, oh, I just came up with the greatest joke. His boner's flying all over the fucking place because he's probably got rock solid off this massage. So he's like, so now she's uncomfortable because this thing is like swinging around. He's so excited about this joke, right? And then she has to stop doing her job and get, you know, completely off focus, attention broken, all that shit, to listen to this guy's lame ass joke about all hell gnawing on pussy. That's like a sociopath. Because these comedians, you think about it, when you boil down a comedian, down to the core of what a comedian is, they're basically somebody on stage going, look at me, look at me, look at me. Dude, I've produced comedy shows before. You know, one of the first things they say to you when they get on stage, it's like, I've produced comedy shows like not at comedy clubs, like at like restaurants and stuff, like real independent stuff. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with independent production at all. But one of the first things they tell you, there's like people sitting down eating in the restaurants. They go, hey, if everyone could just like not talk to each other, you know, be quiet when the comedians are on stage. Half the people in the restaurant, they didn't even know you were going to be there, folks. So it's basically like a kid getting on stage and going, look at me, look at me, look at me. So he's doing that right now in the middle of getting a massage. Talk about, like, this girl should call the police for sexual assault. If I was a girl giving a guy a massage, he stopped in the middle to tell me to joke, I'm calling the fucking cops. FBI, open up! The sooner you get this guy out of the fucking massage bed, the better, because he's creeping me out. What, are you coming on to me? You trying to pick me up, bro? Making me laugh in the middle of me, making me involuntary laugh in the middle of my job? It's already bad enough I gotta rub you down. Let's not make it awkward here, buddy. You know, so this guy is sociopathic as fuck. Listen to this shit one more time. He's in the middle of the massage. He comes up with the perfect joke.
What do black women say? They, oh, hell nah. And I'm like, oh my God, nah, Nas on it. She doesn't eat pussy, she all hell Nas on it. And I stop the massage, tell the masseuse, this perfect little like sweet, innocent. I just wrote a joke about a black lesbian. I said she doesn't eat pussy, she all hell Nas on it. And she's literally like, bah! That all hell no.
Dude, all right. We got to go back to that right there. I got to zoom in on his face. He tells the joke to this woman, right? And he says, she goes, bah! When we replay this last part right here and we look at his face, the way he's telling her, I just came up with this joke. And it's about this girl who eats pussy. When she doesn't eat pussy, she all hell gnaws on it. And now this girl, she's probably like eyes wide open, like, what the fuck did you just say to me, dude? Like, this is not a comedy club. This is a massage parlor. Like, we do not talk to each other like that here, bro. So now she's like eyes wide open. She doesn't know she's like, this guy is going to like kidnap me or hurt me or something. Right? And then he goes, and I tell her the joke and she goes, bah! He tells Bert and Tom, she starts laughing. She probably was screaming. She was probably like, oh my God, I'm going to probably die here. Like, I thought I was just coming into work and now this guy's like telling me jokes. It's like talking about gnawing on pussy and stuff. Like, I don't know what's happening. She's real freaked out. But look, watch, I'm going to show you. Let's zoom in a little bit. before we hit the play button. Look at his face when he starts talking about how he told this masseuse this joke.
Masseuse, this perfect little, like, sweet, innocent. I just wrote a joke about a black lesbian.
So I just wrote a joke about a black lesbian, and he told it to her like this, looking like this, like he's about to fucking yut in his pants. He told her this joke looking like this. I wrote a joke about a black lesbian. This girl, she's probably like freaked out, dude. She was not expecting this at work, buddy.
And I said she doesn't eat pussy. She all hell naws on it. And she's literally like, bah!
Bah! Look, bah! If this is the way that she actually looked after you told the joke, she was fearing for her life. She was not laughing at you, bro. And if she was laughing, she was probably trying to cut the tension in the room. You're telling jokes about black lesbians gnawing on pussy and you're naked, bro. She's rubbing oil all over you. That's not the time and place for that shit, buddy. Save that shit for Joe Rogan's green room. When Joe Rogan's rubbing you down, you know, after the cold plunge, he's giving you one of them heavy thigh rub downs with the fucking thumbs, you know what I mean, really going in there. That's when you start telling these inappropriate ass jokes. You don't want to start doing this shit in the middle of this poor lady's work day. Right after this, she's got to go to lunch. You just fucked her whole lunch up. So let's give a round of applause. That was a listener submission from I Eat Worms 88. So I want to thank him for that. But yeah, we're going to get into this H3 incident, right? So like I said in the intro, H3, they got into a little bit of heat. Ethan Klein in particular and his wife Gila, they got into a little bit of heat. They were doing their content court episodes. Every now and then they sprinkle in these content court episodes where they cover streamers and content creators that are getting a little out of hand. And they were covering Jack Doherty. And I'm not going to lie, Jack Doherty's a piece of shit. So the fact that they were covering him, I was very interested. I just started listening to H3 about a year ago. So I haven't been like a diehard H3 fan. It started out as good background noise. And then you know how sometimes these things end up evolving and blooming into, hey, now I just listen to the show. You know what I mean? It's just basically what it is. But I'm getting a little off. I'll come back to that later. So they got into a little bit of heat, you know? So they're doing their content court with Jack Doherty. They're covering it. It's getting to the end. They had AB, their producer, come up with this like whole PowerPoint slideshow. He did all these edits in there, made the slides all nice. Probably took him hour. I'm talking like he probably put in at least 10, 12, 13 hours of work just on those slides alone. Not to mention all the watching that he had to do of the streams to put them all together, right? So this guy put in like countless hours of work to make this this PowerPoint possible for this episode. They're going through it. They're getting to the end. They're trying to rush through it. And Ethan starts getting pissed off because he has to leave. He goes to hit the button. If you know anything about H3, you know about the button. And if you don't know that, get on your keyboard and start Googling, because I'm not going to explain to you the whole H3 thing now. I'll explain to you in a little bit how I got to listening to it, but I'm not going to explain to you what the whole fucking thing is, all right? Let's not do that. So AB, he put together all this shit. They're getting to the end. Ethan starts getting mad at him because he's like, well, why don't we just finish it like on Wednesday or something like that? You know what I mean? Ethan goes to hit that button, goes to chew AB out. It ends up getting caught live on air. Now, this was something that was very unexpected for Ethan and Gila, as they were both sitting there, you know, kind of giving their employees the 1-2 for no fucking goddamn reason, you know? So I thought that was kind of interesting, and I wanted to cover that because they had a response to it, and that wasn't really all that great. So we'll get into all that in a second. But like I was saying earlier, I started listening to H3 about a year ago, and it was background music. Then I became a listener, blah, blah, blah. And their whole vibe is like left wing, like there's comedy podcasts, but they're kind of left wing a little bit. And I always find that like people that are like overly left wing, I always find them to be a little bit sus, because they go so far out of their way to be like, I include everybody. I I don't hate anything. It's like normal everyday people, they at least hate one thing. They might not want to talk about it all the time, but you know what I mean? So it just seems fake to me. I guess I'll say that. When people are like overly liberal, and they might not even be liberals, but like when they seem overly liberal in their thought processes, they seem fake to me. And I started to notice these little things about Ethan and the show kind of living up to that fake facade that I kind of suspected in the first place. One of them being the fact that like Ethan would constantly berate his one producer, AB. It always seemed like anytime there was like an inside joke going on in the show, AB was like the ass end of that joke. And he always ended up taking it like a champ. And I found that to be very odd. And then I ended up finding out how AB got his job, which was from coming on, he did a live stream defending Ethan from a time that Ethan was getting canceled in the past. So I'm like, okay, now this guy is pretty much going to be like loyal to the bone to Ethan, and Ethan treats this guy worse than anybody on the show. Kind of thought that was odd. I kept listening anyway, and then it all culminated into this button situation, which I explained to you a little bit ago. So now you see how we're full circle here. You thought I was going to keep getting lost in thought. I wasn't. You're wrong. So that button situation was hot. It was hot. And we're going to check out a couple time codes from that episode before we actually get into the button stuff. So, like I said, I noticed that one of the things about them being fake was them constantly berating AB. And prior to the actual button incident that set everybody off, there were signs of this getting ready to happen, you know? So now, I don't know about you, but anytime they hit that button from now on, I'm always going to picture Ethan yelling at somebody. There's never going to be a time where I'm not going to picture that being the case anytime they use this button. So right here, right out the gate in this first clip, you'll see they're kind of all ganging up on AB. And I think it's fucked up because, let me remind you, he's the only one that put in work for this whole entire episode. Now, watch them gang up on this poor guy like this.
This show is like,
no idea what we're watching right
yeah,
now.
I have no idea what
I'll
anybody.
explain.
We are fast forwarding to one video on S that we could sit through.
It's 10 minutes, man. 10 minutes. You know how this show goes. 10 minutes, play it all the way through.
There's 69 slides. I said one could we sit through.
We do only have 20 minutes.
But it's a 10-minute video.
Genuinely not interesting.
Genuinely not interesting.
Okay, so what well, hold on.
So now you'll see AB, he's looking very, very uncomfortable. You know, they're all giving him shit. There's 69 slides, he said, on this PowerPoint. And he's just asking them, one, can we just watch one without like an ass load of interruptions? You know, they're taking it. Ethan's like, it's 10 minutes long. We can't just sit here for 10 minutes and watch the whole entire clip. That's kind of not what AB is asking. He's just asking you not to pause it every 30 seconds and then completely derail into something else. It'd be one thing if you paused it, added some commentary, you know, talked some shit, made a couple jokes, and kept it going. Then, you know, everybody's, you know, still stringing along the timeline there. What Ethan likes to do is he'll pause the shit. He'll completely go on a complete out of left field story. Now, 45 minutes has passed by, and they can't finish anything. So the audience gets pissed because they're like, yo, we kind of signed up to like, for this thing to go full circle here, for us to get to the finish line. Ethan just wants to sit there, tell a bunch of stupid ass fucking stories. He'll go to the bathroom and take a shit for like 25 minutes, you know. Then they got to stop and read ads and all. So AB is kind of like just getting at like, yo, I just want to kind of get through this one. It's the only one I'm asking you guys if we can just actually get through it, you know. And now they're all kind of ganging up on him, like. And it's not like Love, it's not Olivia, it's not Lena. It's the three henchmen. It's Dan, Ethan, and Gila. The three top dogs. They're all ganging up on poor little AB. All he's trying to do is make a good episode. You know what I mean? Let's not also forget Ethan showed up late. So they weren't going to finish the whole fucking thing anyway. AB is just trying to save face on this, but Let's watch this guy get berated by these fucking monsters.
10 minutes. You know how this show goes. 10 minutes, play it all the way through.
There's 69 slides. I said one. Can we sit through?
Look at that poor guy. You ever get in that kind of situation where you have that like very awkward smile where you're like really trying to hold it together? You're like, I'm just asking for that one thing, you know? Just the one thing. And that's it. I'm not trying to keep my cool, trying to keep my composure. Look how red AB's fucking face is. He's so pissed. He's probably embarrassed. He's probably fed up, dude. Like if I was him, I like I said, I've only been listening for a year. He's probably been with the show for what, like 6 or something like that? 4, 5, whatever. He's been dealing with this the entire time. Ethan probably saw this guy defending him on his live and was like, I could pay this guy whatever the fuck I want. I could probably treat this guy however the fuck I want. Like, what do I have to lose out of this? You know what I mean? And finally, the fans are seeing it for what it is. Now, a lot of fans blew past this part. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, this is just the shit that happens in the show. It is what it is. Then we saw that button situation. Got a little different.
Have 20 minutes.
Okay. But it's a 10-minute video.
Genuinely not interested.
I can't hear it.
Okay, so what? Well, hold on.
See, now Dan's sitting there going, it's genuinely not interesting. AB even tells him, well, you can't hear it. All of you are talking about shit the whole time. And now I'll give you a very good example of Ethan completely derailing the whole thing. This is what they've been dealing with the entire episode. Watch. This is a very good example of this.
There's no choice. Think of milk, right? It spoils fast, right?
Okay.
Think of wine. It gets better with time.
Okay.
You're the milk.
Okay.
We're the wine.
Okay.
Make sense?
No.
This bitch, bro.
No, it doesn't make sense because look at you. You ain't no fucking wine, bitch. Trust me. You're.
So now they're talking. They're going over the Fresh and Fit podcast. Jack Doherty's appearance on there. Those Fresh and Fit boys. Those guys are A-Boff, Joe Mokes as well. We'll probably end up seeing them at some point in the near future. But they're basically like one of those podcasts where it's like a couple right-wing guys. They bring a bunch of OnlyFans girls on there and they go, y'all are whores. And then the OnlyFans girls try to defend themselves and they go, well, yeah, but you're still whores. You know what I mean? Everybody goes, yeah, man, that's awesome. They're whores. That's the most retarded shit that I've ever heard of. This is what punching down on a very wide scale right there is what that is. But regardless, they're talking to this girl. They go, hey, women age like milk, men age like wine. You understand? And she goes, no, because like we're all people and we all grow as people and stuff. And he goes, oh, this bitch is retarded. She don't know shit. This girl don't know her hand from her feet. She don't know her ass from her foot. This guy, I don't know what the hell he's trying to say, but he's no catch. And that's what Ethan's getting at. But watch, like I said, derails the conversation. He's about to completely go left when he should go right.
Coconut milk. Okay? And that shit spoils easily.
Bro, can you believe it? This is the milk that we're drinking.
It's so frustrating that these guys bring on like people who aren't used to being on camera, who aren't like familiar with the topics, and it's like so ridiculous. Like try talking to someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about for once, and you'll look like when we were talking about. Yeah, we're off topic. Let's get out of here.
See?
I got to get off this. What are we doing here?
He's even saying to himself, he's like, I'm doing it again. So he's frustrated with himself at this point. And this whole button thing, like I said, that we'll see in a little bit, he's basically going to take it out on AB, which is fucked up. I very much suspected that for a little while now, but it's nice to have like a good solid proof for the whole situation. So AB's getting his shit pushed in. And Ethan's basically only reason he's doing it is because he's pissed off about him derailing the show, him not being able to get through the topics and all that shit. AB has to sit there and swallow it, all his hard work going down the drain because of Ethan's bullshit. Now here's one that I thought was funny. Every now and then you see Dan, their head producer, he'll check Ethan. I always get a kick out of these because he's like the only thing keeping Ethan in any kind of check. Like, not saying Ethan really is, you know, we've all heard the toxic workplace environment stories from not only the show, but his wife's brand, Teddy Fresh. A lot of people quitting that show too. So, happy Labor Day. But every now and then, Dan will actually get some truth out of this motherfucker. And I thought this was interesting little watch.
I'm like, I would never do that. I'm humble enough to not wear two Richard Milles at once, even though I have two Richard Milles. Like,
Oh my god.
at the end, like,
No, he's kidding.
He's said a lot of things about this guy in like a week. Like I've seen a bunch of clips of him like he's still not over it.
All right, so basically now, this Jack Doherty character, he's talking about how he met this famous football player, you know, football, not American football, soccer. So he met this famous soccer player, and the guy was wearing two Richard Milles. Those watches are like $1 million a piece. So this guy's wearing two Richard Milles. Jack Doherty's talking shit about it. So now Ethan's sitting there. He wants to try to talk shit about Jack for talking shit about the watches for like a week straight. You know, like Jack apparently, he was tweeting about it. Oh, this loser, he's wearing two Richard Milles. Who does he think he is? And now Ethan's like, oh, this guy's an idiot. Like, just get over it. Like, why would you tweet about it for a week? And this is where Dan gives him the check. Watch this.
Bro's gonna be talking about it till he dies.
Okay, so he's a baby. We love that about him, and he looks like
Now,
a baby.
Wait a minute. Just right quick. Was he wearing two of those watches?
It sounds like he was. The soccer player was wearing two watches.
Are you going to tell me right now that you would not harp on that for days and days if you saw somebody doing
It's a
that?
bit gaudy, absolutely over the top, absolutely.
It's a fashion decision.
Yeah.
But it's like $1 million watches, so he's
You need two?
I think he's a big deal. Portugal player, I believe.
Well, Jack says he has two, but he's humble enough to only wear one at a time. So
I think that's the stupidest fucking thing you can do, to be honest. Wear two watches.
yeah, it's pretty silly. It's pretty
I think he's about to deliver it to him right now.
good.
You would make fun of that man for
Absolutely.
years to come.
Absolutely.
That's it right there. We got him. Every now and then, Dan checks Ethan. I get such a big kick out of it. I get so excited. I'm like, oh, he finally, you know what I mean? Like, because the boss cannot always win. You know what I mean? Especially with a show like H3. This guy thinks like everything he does is okay, but then he goes on his show, he talks a lot of shit about other people for the same exact stuff. So now, watch this. Before I actually show you the button incident, which I'm going to show you right after this next time code, which is a quick one, I want to show you how they edited it out. So that right after the live stream, Ethan, he gets these producers on there. How fucked up is this? Right after the live stream, the two producers, Dan and AB, have to go on there and edit that section out. How fucked up is that? You're AB, you just got done getting chewed out in front, like, normally on average, like 35,000 people will be watching this show. That's live. So now after that, you're looking at like anywhere between 250 to like 500,000 views that are going to come from H3. They got almost 3 million subscribers. They got some reach. So a lot of people were going to see that shit. About between 20 and 40,000 saw it live. So now Ethan's like, cut it out. Cut it all out. Or get it all out of there. And imagine being AB. You have to sit there with your mouse and keyboard, clicking and clacking, and fucking editing that shit out. Editing that moment out. How fucked up. That's like editing out like if somebody stole your car or something. They're like, the cops are like, edit that footage out. You're like, but it's my car getting stolen. Like, so I was wronged. And the cops are like, edit it out. We don't give a fuck. Now watch. Watch how this gets edited out. I said that so many times.
Dare I put on auto caption?
those order screens are so unhygienic. Now, all right, well, you probably haven't had food in 6 days. You fucking later.
Oh, it's just later. So it didn't pick it up either. It says you find the food 6 days later.
Right there. You see that? That was where the cut happened. And I'm going to show you one more time. Pay attention.
It says you find the food 6 days later.
Ay, ay, ay.
So they did a fairly clean cut. You just hear Dan go, ay, ay, ay. That'll be made a little more clear in a second.
All right, I got to go. I got to get out of this. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Goodbye, H3. So that was the edited version. They go from talking about the Jack Doherty, apparently dropping the N-bomb during live stream. And then it cuts to Ethan going, oh, all right, we got to go. We got to get out of here. Very awkward. You hear Dan in the back. Ay, ay, ay. Everybody looks very awkward at that ending. What they leave out is the button. So let's actually go to the button clip. This is quote unquote a full clip of the button. But I will say this person, for some reason, when they clipped it, they still cut out like the dead air chunks. So there still are cuts in this, but it's like how it happened. I saw the other, like the full one without those dead air cutouts. And it's stupid that this person cut those little bits out because it's like a second of dead air. Like that right there. That was like as much, they cut out like that little chunk of dead air that I just left. So it was kind of stupid. I saw the completely unedited one on the H3 Snark subreddit. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But I didn't save it to my show notes. I don't really want to go looking for it while I'm in the middle of recording. So I'll just show you this one. It's about like 2 minutes long, but this is like what actually aired. This is what we saw.
I feel like we should have just ended the whole thing. We were at the end.
Yeah, we can. Let's end it. You want to tell me about his scam?
You mean finish it all up today?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, we're close enough.
Final words.
We got 10 minutes. Do we watch this?
Like I have this new
Final
clip thing where,
words
like I have a Discord and people,
me.
like, people that join my course, they can.
Okay. So to give you a little bit of context, because those jump cuts are making it like almost incomprehensible to the listener probably. So basically Ethan's like, all right, we got 10 minutes, right? And Dan's like, I mean, we could just wrap it up. Like we're practically at the ends of the PowerPoint anyway. And Ethan's like, yeah, but we're running out of time. And you hear AB in the background. He's like, well, I mean, if we have 10 minutes left, we could just kind of finish it up right now. You know what I mean? It's not that much. And then Gila, you hear her in the back go, any last words? Like, any last words before we start playing this, and then we can get out of here. And AB goes in the background. He goes, my last words are, fuck me. And he says this because he just put in like endless hours of work, and now they're not even going to get to finish it because these two assholes showed up late. We're getting sidetracked the whole time. You heard it a million times already this episode. I said it already. So he's a little upset. I'd be a little upset too, God damn it. Like, come on. What am I, chopped liver? Why are you having me do all the work if you're not going to use any of it? It's stupid. Doesn't make any sense. Like, that could be put towards like making the show look better, like better edits, anything. Better clips, better shorts, whatever. But now you're just wasting time and resources at that point. So that's what he says. Ah, fuck me. Those are my last words. Now this is where it's going to get a little awkward. This is where we're going to hit the button.
And use they get access to.
We covered most of
We're
it.
doing it.
What
You're
are
making
you
it
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry. I'm not.
Just like, this is what I'm talking about when it's always like.
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I just I'm about finishing Wednesday.
On Friday, maybe. Is it?
You guys, like.
So now you can hear them. You can hear them there. Ethan slams that button. He says, you're doing it right now. You're making it so awkward and terrible. Like, we've talked about this. This is what I was talking about. So this is already something that they've talked about in the past. Why did they talk about it in the past? Like, so that right there kind of tells me that Ethan's already kind of like chewed them out. Like, listen, guys, when I need to go, when I say I need to go, I need to go, which is fair. If you have kids, we get it. But once again, you cannot at the same time get mad at your employees for being a little upset that you just made them do endless amounts of work for no fucking reason. That's not fair. See, you having to leave for your kids is fair. You getting mad at your employees for being a little upset that you made them do a bunch of work for nothing is not fair. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Okay? Because I know it makes sense to me. I don't know. I might be the only one, though. So now you listen to these guys. Listen to him. He said, this is what I'm talking about.
When it's always like,
We need to get home for our kids.
it's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I was just talking about finishing Wednesday.
On Friday, maybe. Is it?
You guys, like...
All right, I'm taking my hand off the. All right, should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
So now you see how the button is it's glitching. Right now, they're supposed to be back on air. Ethan's already taken his hand off the button. But now you're getting the live feed audio. What's supposed to be the live feed audio is still happening on the screen. So not only did you get like the uncut audio, but now you're getting a double of what the live feed audio is supposed to be. And you'll see that in a second as well.
What? Okay.
They heard it.
All right.
Right
Should we
there.
wrap?
Watch. In the background, you heard this guy, unintelligible, it said, but you could hear if you listen closely, he goes, they heard it. They heard it. So he's telling these two, yo, you guys are outed. Sorry, but they heard you on the live stream. So I hope you guys are ready for that one. But now watch. You're going to get that double up on the audio. You're going to get the live feed audio. But now you're also going to get their reactions. It's going to be... So this is fucking priceless. The faces that they make when they find out that they're caught is solid fucking gold. Watch this.
Wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
Yup. Look at Gila. Busted. Busted. Look at the bailiff. Busted. That's the face of a woman that knows that she's caught. Mind you, I didn't even prep any of these for the show notes, so I can't get crazy into them, but I will be looking into this. I can't even tell you how many, just casually scrolling through Twitter. Teddy Fresh is a terrible place to work for. Lead people at Teddy Fresh are leaving because of the toxic work environment. Teddy Fresh has gone through endless employees in the past couple of years. The turnaround rate over there is insane. All of them talking about how Gila is a shitty boss, how she's a bitch at work, how she treats people like garbage. This is a result of finally getting caught. This is the face that you make when you know. She looks like a villain. Like, she looks like she has absolutely no fucking remorse at all. And look at Ethan. Ethan looking over at his producers like, are you fucking serious that the button didn't work just now? Like, Ethan has the look of death on him. Ethan looks very, very worried. Now watch. That face right there, we got to go back. That was another one. Look at Ethan's face right there. He even gets confirmation. Hey, the other guy moderating the live stream. Are you sure? Are you sure that we got busted? This is that face. You sure? The guy is over there. I hate to break it to you. Both hands in the air. He's like, yeah, they saw it. They saw the whole thing. So now both of them know this thing is out. And the internet's going to have a field day with it. H3 Snark in particular.
What? Okay, well,
Heard all that.
Thanks, Button.
All right.
Well, I'll just explain myself then. Like, it's like, you know, first of all, I appreciate the hard work.
I know
you've
you
done,
do.
and
I
I
know.
loved it, and I really enjoy it. But
Now watch this. He starts out with the apology to AB because he knows right there the fans are going to be very pissed off about that first and foremost. He already knows that. He's done these lives for a long time. He has damage control constantly in the back of his mind. So he knows. So right away he looks at AB. He goes, listen, I always appreciate the work that you do. You know, don't think that I don't appreciate the work that you do. I always appreciate the work that you do for the show. And I love it. It's just, you know, the things and he starts getting into it. And AB tries to cut him off. AB accidentally cuts him off by trying to once again defend him and go, no, it was my fault. I was being selfish by wanting to finish the slides. Now watch Ethan's reaction to AB trying to save him. Watch this.
But it's like every time we do it, it's like the show is what it is, and
I know. I was
being.
Look at Ethan.
getting pissed off. He's getting pissed that AB is interrupting him, right? This is preemptively he's pissed off that AB is interrupting him. But really, if you dig deep, he's pissed off that he is outed. He's really, like, this whole situation, anyone could say anything, he's going to stay mad. But he doesn't realize that AB's defending him. So right now, he's like, God fucking damn, I can't even get through my fucking apology without this asshole saying something again. So now I'm going to have to chew him out off camera. What the fuck? But watch, AB defends him.
Being selfish.
No, dude, that button f***ed me, dude. Can you imagine that button f***ing me over like that? Like, dude, I mean, it could have been worse. What kind?
See, he even says it could have been worse. He knows that he's like, it could have been like last week when I was like really fucking digging into you. Like when I was really putting in the works on you off camera, you know, talking about your hot mom, how I'm about to fuck I could fire you, or you're a worthless fucking producer. You remember all that shit? It could have been then. Then I'd really be fucked. But nah, they're just getting this light one. So I'm kind of actually getting off kind of easy on this one. But to sit there and look AB in the eye and say, could you imagine that button fucking me like that? Like, that is some balls, dude. To say some shit like that is some balls, bro. Listen to this.
What kind of button is this, bro? Who's getting... What's what with the button
technical
people?
Issues earlier. We had technical issues earlier, and it screwed some stuff up. I was running around in the back trying to fix everything, and I don't know. I guess that was still glitched out. It didn't work.
Bro, how am I ever going to trust the button? We need a button redundancy.
We need a button for the button.
Ugh.
Apologies.
All right. Listen, I do have to leave. We ran out of time. So we'll be here for members tomorrow. And then on Friday or Saturday, we're coming to do the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Now watch, you're going to see coming up is going to be the part that I just showed you the cut from that episode where they cut it out and stitched it all back together. You're going to see that part come up in a little bit.
So what did they see? Just a black screen with me talking?
No, the visual of the button worked.
Parts was cut. Most of the start wasn't cut. The end was cut. So it's like hard to tell right now.
Now, whatever. You know what I said. All right. Enough.
Guys, don't make it a bigger deal. It's nothing. Chat. It's in chat.
Look at that. AB fucking defending this guy again. The AB is like a dog. He's so fucking precious, man. Like, you cannot help but love this fucking idiot, you know? He's so loyal. Like, if I could get a couple guys like that around here, holy shit, the stuff we could do with this goddamn show, it'd be unbelievable, okay? We'd be top-notch quality content, okay? If I could get a couple of those that I could beat up around the office, but like physically, I like really fucking putting work into these guys. Like, if I could just have a couple of those ABs just to punch around the studio for a little bit, like just 6 months, just give me 6 months with like 3 guys like that. I'd fucking 50 Shades of Grey these motherfuckers. A guy can only dream though, right? But AB is defending this guy again, loyal to the fucking bone. And watch Ethan's reaction to this. He's telling the chat, don't get mad, guys. Don't make it a bigger deal than it has to be. Trying to defend me, poor AB. Nobody should care about me. Let's focus on Ethan. He's the real star here, and he didn't mean it. It's basically what just came out of this guy's mouth. Watch Ethan's reaction to that. Shaking his head at him. Shaking his head at him and staring him down as if he wants to fucking kill him. Ethan is staring him as if his glaze is gonna melt him down to fucking bone. He's like seriously, like really laser eyeing this guy down to nothing practically in his mind. And all AB's trying to do is defend him. And look at his wife. This is how you know this bitch is evil. She's over there looking at these guys fucking laughing her ass off at this shit. She knows. She's probably laughing at the fact that she's probably just thinking about how much Ethan's going to lace into this motherfucker after the show. And she's getting a good old kick out of it. Ethan's like, I think Ethan beats AB instead of beating his own kids. You know, these kids are drawing on, he's got a tattoo of his kids' marker drawings on his leg. I could only imagine what their fucking $15 million mansion looks like. Probably looks like Picasso on crack ran around that bitch and had a field day. So like, he probably, instead of beating those little rugrats, he probably comes to work and fucking gives the AB the ones and twos. Just like I want to do with my ABs when I get them. So remember that when this show gets big enough to where I hire producers and stuff, that will be part of the job posting. You will have to get your ass kicked from time to time by me when I'm stressed out. Okay? So let's watch this finish out.
What do I need to say about this? No, what do I need to say about this?
I have no idea.
Look, oh God, I don't want to say anything more because like that was an aside, okay? What the is that stupid like button, bro?
Hard to tell right now.
Hold on, now I gotta go to chat. Okay, whatever.
Ay, ay, ay.
Now you heard that ay ay ay? This is where it happens. This is the cut that I just got done showing you. That was the end of the Jack Doherty content court. Watch this. This is where it happens.
Bro.
Hard to tell right now.
Hold on, now I gotta go to chat. Okay, whatever.
Ay, ay, ay.
All right, I gotta go. I gotta get out of this. Bye, everybody.
All right, so now that's the ending. That's the one that they wanted everybody to see, you know, which I just got done showing you prior to this clip. That was the actual button incident. Find that very odd. You know, I find this whole thing to be very odd. That it's finally culminating to Ethan being a shitty person. Like, so many people have speculated on it, but now I really think that this is like the most solid proof of him being like down to the core a shitty person. It's one thing to be like, oh, he's getting canceled because he made fun of a cutie, whatever. When she was getting a fucking deep fake porn online and she was crying about it, he made fun of her. They were canceling him for that. But people can be like, okay, you know, they can let that go in their minds because they're like, well, he's just doing it for content. You know, say what you want about the guy, but he's getting the clips out of it, right? You know, so a lot of his fans have kind of like let this kind of stuff go just kind of based on that alone. And then you got the fans that are actually on this guy's side that are kind of loyal to him. Even those fans are starting to jump ship because it's one thing to be loyal to a guy that's, you know, talking shit online. It's another thing to be loyal to a guy that's talking shit to his subordinates. You know what I mean? Like, nobody likes, it doesn't matter how rich, how famous you are. Nobody likes it when you go to a restaurant and berate the fucking waitress. Nobody likes that shit. Nobody wants to see you do that. Nobody likes it. Nobody's ever going to like it. So it's kind of the same concept here. Your fans are not going to stay loyal to you if you're sitting there mentally fucking abusing your employees on a daily basis. And now that's really all the suspicions that your fans have because of that. And it's not just that episode. There are other incidents. Like, Ethan is known for making fun of AB because AB's mom is hot. You know what I mean? Like, this guy he's known, he does this shit all the time. And if he's going to make these kind of jokes on air, then picture whatever else he's willing to say to this guy. Like, when people say that kind of stuff, it's right there. It kind of makes it apparent to everybody else that you don't really hold a whole lot of respect for that person. Like, somebody's mom, making fun of somebody's mom on a personal basis. Like, this is not like me being on a show where I make fun of people and I go, oh, I'd love to fuck his fat ass mom. You know what I mean? It's a joke. It's on whatever. I'm not even associated with that person. You know? I'm not saying that what I said is right. It's a different thing. Now, if I had a producer here with me and he was here every week and we talked about stuff on the show all the time, it'd be very rude of me, no matter how fucked up this show is, to talk about banging his mom on air. You know what I mean? And to leave that in the show. We don't do these live yet, but, you know, I would not leave that in the final edit, right? But watch Ethan. He doesn't give a fuck. He will go right for AB's fucking throat and not even think twice about it.
I think what it is,
Is your mom still a hot ticket?
Oh yeah, my mom's very pretty. Like, my whole life, my
picture?
friends, even my own cousins would tease me about my mom being hot.
Jewish guy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What's he do for a living?
He's a very successful commercial real estate broker. Yeah.
The Jews.
See, now that's not that bad. To sit there, now that even is a little bit pushing it, but I'll allow it. You you can live with that being like, oh, is your mom still hot or whatever? Like, that's one thing. Oh, is she still good looking, whatever? He's like, yeah. He's even going with it at that point. He's like, yeah, I always got teased for that my whole life. Now, this is where you're going to hear Ethan cross the line.
So good for your mom, ultimately. She's getting some good Jewish dick.
Okay.
She's getting...
All right.
What the fuck kind of shit is that? You cannot be doing this shit, bro. Listen to this shit one more time. We're going to listen back to this. Watch it.
The Jews.
So good for your mom, ultimately. She's getting some good Jewish dick.
Okay.
She's getting...
All right.
Cross the line. He sounds rich, too, right? He's rich?
Yeah, he is.
Fuck yeah. It sounds like they're both doing well, at least.
Look at him trying to make up for it. Sounds like they're both doing well, at least, you know? It's not that bad. She can't be that bad off, you know what I mean? And then he's, at other times, he's trying to get this guy's mom, like, picture. He wants AB to bring in pictures of his mom to show the audience and him so he could sit there and drool over them. All this bullshit. Like, that's very disrespectful stuff. I've watched clips of him talk shit about how, like, AB doesn't have a lot of viewers on his live streams. Different things like that, like really chipping away at this dude's ego. So now we got to the point to where people are finally seeing it. The button incident is out. Everybody's onto it. Now, watch this guy's fucking reaction to like people getting pissed off about it online. You would think right away he would want to say something like, hey, I wanted to come on here and publicly apologize about it. It was a workplace thing. It should never happen again. It will not happen again. I'm sorry to AB. I'm sorry to anybody who watched, anybody who got offended. These are all things that you want to say during a time like this, right? What you don't want to do is you don't want to get on air the next day live and start making jokes about it. And not only jokes, but like tasteless jokes, like not even funny jokes. Like these are not really, I wouldn't say that they're not appropriate because like every joke is appropriate to me. Say whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit. But it's just not the time for that. Like it just doesn't make sense. It's not even funny. If it was a hilarious, actually well thought out joke, I'd allow it. But when this one it just wasn't it. Watch this guy make a mockery of this situation to the fans.
So hold on one sec. Okay, hold on one sec. Okay, Tom, I'm sick of you being so fucking bald. Okay, I'm sitting here with all this hair, and you're sitting there bald.
Yeah, this is how I am. What am I supposed to do?
Bro, I don't know, but just stop being so fucking bald. What?
Wait, can you just talk about it after the show?
Okay, well that's why I hit the button. All right, I'm coming up.
Okay.
Coming up. Anyway, Oh, thank you. What is this?
So now he's smiling about this. He's basically laughing in your face. If you're an H3 fan, you see something like that, I mean, really, you cannot take it any other way than this guy just spitting in your fucking face. Like, that's practically what it is. That's basically what we're listening to here now. And I don't know about you, but if I was a die-hard day one, I'd be fucking pissed. I would not want to deal with that shit. Because you did something wrong, and we are clearly upset about it. You know that we're clearly upset about it because you're making a joke about it. You know, if you had no inclination that the fans were upset about this, you would just move on. It would not even be a thing to you. But now you've saw the chat's reaction, and this is your reaction to it. This is your initial reaction. Mind you, he has not like apologized or brought it up. This is the first time he's like bringing it up by like doing it passively and trying to make a joke about it. And I don't know about you, but I find that to be very disrespectful. Now, that was 16 minutes into the show. They do about like 1 to 2 more of these like little button gags, and then they finally bring up the button in a quote-unquote serious way. I'll show you guys that time code right now. Oh, also, it's not even until a half an hour after that initial reaction that I just showed you where they tried to make a joke about it. So they didn't even bring it up until a half an hour after that, trying to be serious. Watch this.
I guess we should talk about the button thing. Here's what I'm going to say about the button thing. At the end of the content court yesterday, there was a moment where I made an aside to AB, and I was angry, and the button didn't work, and everybody saw the interaction. I'm embarrassed that you guys saw it. However, I do believe that this is a private, professional situation that was never meant to be public, and I will continue to handle it in such a way, in the same fashion. We will continue to work on this situation behind the scenes, and as professionals, as coworkers, and I mean.
So basically, what we're hearing right now is him. Like, think about this if it was like a domestic violence situation. This guy basically walked out of the room from beating his wife and said, "Hey guys, I'm sorry that I left the door open, and you guys happen to see that, but it's just something that happens around the house. And although it shouldn't have happened in front of you, I still very much would like to beat my wife. And the next time that I do so, I will make sure that the door is closed." That's basically what he just got done saying to you. He's not apologizing for it happening. He's apologizing for you seeing it. Does that make sense? So let's watch this guy again. This is like the most half-assed shit to hear this guy say this. It's crazy.
But he saw the interaction. I'm embarrassed that you guys saw it. However, I do believe that this is a private, professional situation that was never meant to be public, and I will continue to handle it in such a way, in the same fashion.
Did anybody hear the words "I'm sorry"? Did anyone hear the words "I'm sorry"? I know for a fact AB didn't hear the words "I'm sorry." So this is the type of shit that I'm talking about. This guy does not give two fucks about this situation. He only cares about the fact that you saw it, that the fans saw it. That's the only thing that's affecting him right now, because he knows that it might affect the bottom line at the end of the day. Now, am I the only one that finds it a little suspicious that this guy has had like 3 employees leave in the past like 1 to 2 years? Am I the only one that finds that a little odd? So, just in the year that I've been watching, they lost Cam. Then they lost, what was the other girl? Sam. And I think Zach's girlfriend ended up leaving Teddy Fresh. So it's like these guys are fucking hemorrhaging employees. And this was something I ended up finding online from the H3 Snark subreddit. I will explain those guys. I know I've been talking about it. I will explain that in a second. But somebody had brought up the fact that they don't think that Ethan wants AB to even work there at all. They think that Ethan hired AB because AB was defending him on live stream, like I said earlier, during a time where Ethan was getting canceled. And Ethan was like, "Hey man, this is going to be a loyal guy. Let's help this guy out just like he's helping me out. Let's bring him on board." You know, you could be the nicest person in the world. You're not going to mesh with every single person that comes across your path. So maybe when that happened, Ethan at first meshed with him or thought he did. And it could have been to nobody's fault. They might not have just meshed as people. So this post that I was reading, they brought up a good point. The suspicion was that they think Ethan eventually grew to not like AB. But due to the fact that every single person who works on the show is an integrated part of the show, and the show is filmed live, it would make it awkward for him to like fire people. So really the only thing that he can do is just hope that they leave. And then they could frame it however they want. They're going on to bigger and better things. I guarantee you Ethan is slapping NDAs all over that bitch. So those employees that I just mentioned leaving, they probably had to sign NDAs fucking 12 inches thick. You know, they're probably not allowed to talk about jack shit. And I almost can guarantee that with someone like Ethan. He's been in and out of the court system so many goddamn times, getting sued, suing other people. He already knows the shit. He's going to make sure that they can't talk about jack shit. So it was a very, very interesting post to have those things speculated on, because they make a lot of sense. If we're seeing this now, this is just the time we're seeing it. He's probably done this to AB and other employees a million different times. Like, this is not the first time that this has happened. I can guarantee you that. This is just the first time that we're seeing it at this level. And that's saying a lot for somebody like Ethan, who really prides himself on kind of being like a righteous guy, you know? Like, he really prides himself on being this like internet cop. He has a whole thing called Content Court where he judges the stuff that other people make. And he usually does that based on them being terrible people. And now it's kind of funny that his fans are kind of seeing him as a terrible person. I wonder if he's going to do an episode on himself. How fucking awesome would that be if Ethan does an episode of Content Court on himself for all the times that he's done fucked up, stupid shit? He unleashes all the different button live feeds. Every button that's ever been hit, he releases all of them. That right there, that'd be the only redeeming factor in all of this. If you can do that, we will forgive you. All right, so let's check this one out. They're going to do a little bit more button talk, all right?
And that is what
we're good, everyone. We're good.
They talked about it. Like, we came to an understanding. It's a minor bump, you know?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not my place to say, because I was being a dick, okay? I was being an asshole. And like I said, a superior shouldn't talk down to his employee like that.
Very good point, Ethan. A superior shouldn't talk down to their employee like that. Now, notice AB once again trying to chime in and save face for Ethan, saying, guys, we're good. Then gets real quiet after that. You're going to notice Dan and Ethan do a lot of the talking in this whole thing. The first clip that I showed you of Ethan bringing up the button, now they're getting chimes in from Dan. Dan's going to show like a completely unedited version of the actual feed that we didn't get to see. Remember, we just got the audio from that. We didn't get to see like it actually unfold. So Dan wants to bring that up. He wants to see like maybe this will sway the audience in a different direction. Watch this.
However, workplaces are pretty, I mean, like, this shit happens. I mean, like, it shouldn't, right? But, like, I don't know. It should happen.
We're human. Yeah, we got frustrated. You got a little
like,
frustrated.
Like, literally, you've never been mad at somebody?
Slightly.
Yeah.
I mean, it came across as a more, come on, bro. It's a come on, bro moment. You know? Come on. We all.
Was it a come on, bro moment? Come on your upper lip, bro moment? Was it one of those kind of moments? Because that shit didn't seem like a come on moment to me. And when I show you guys the clip of like the actual feed that we didn't get to see, it still didn't look like a come on moment then either. Okay? The only one that should be coming on anything is AB. And it should be coming on all of you. Okay? Nothing less and nothing more.
Have that. Come on, man. It was a come on, man. Like, we got to get out of here. We're losing our sitter. We got to get home. Like,
listen, you usually
not making it awkward.
Yeah, whatever. So it's like, okay, if you're mad at me, fine. I shouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? I apologize for that. That was an inappropriate way. But I also, you know, like I said, it happens, and I'm always working on, you know, improving. I think that I am generally, you know, I don't think I talk like that usually.
You don't? I mean, right now, if we go back a couple frames, looks like this guy's like reading off of like a teleprompter or his phone or something like that. What are you looking off to the side for like that? That's a bad sign. You're either reading something over here or you're just looking off, because that's usually what people do when they lie. People don't tend to look you in the eye when they're lying to your face. And he's basically lying to like 30,000 people's faces right now. So let's listen to this guy squirm just a little more.
I don't think I talk like that usually. So When I do, I feel bad, and I work on myself. But sorry that you're all fucking perfect little fairies that float around and drop pixie dust wherever you fly. And just you leave a path of happiness and bliss and euphoria in your path.
I'm sorry.
Sometimes I don't know how fucking cringy and ridiculous I sound.
What the fuck was that? This guy, like, are you serious right now? How crazy is that? To sit there, now he's trying to turn it around on you. He's saying that it's your fault that you're pissed about this happening. Because nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Bro, you try to act like you're Mr. Perfect. You are the one who talks a lot of shit on these people and tries to make yourself seem like the good guy. See, I understand. I'm not completely lost in reality. I can get how hypocritical it might sound that I'm making fun of somebody for talking shit. I get it. But I'm not making myself out to seem like a good person. I know I'm a shitty person. That's the only reason I'm doing all of this. Okay? You think I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with vodka. All right? I eat 3 eggs raw, then I fucking murder the chickens that produced them. I don't even eat their meat. You're not talking to a saint here. So I don't care. I'm making fun of whoever. That's just what I'm doing. I'm not making myself out to be Mr. Righteous like Ethan does. And now he's trying to sit there and flip the coin on you and say it's your fault that you're pissed off about this. Why should you even be mad? It's just something that happens in the workplace. He doesn't think that he talks that way all the time. Guess what, buddy? Your perception of yourself is nowhere near other people's perception of you. It's always been that way in life. So you might not think you talk that way. Everybody else around you might not even like you because of the way you talk to them. You have no idea. This whole toxic workplace shit, like the only one really that gets the true perspective of it is your employees. They're the ones that have to deal with you every fucking day. So yeah, it's very easy from your perspective to say, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm running the place the way it should be ran. It's a business. But you still have to take into account, like, these guys got to come in every day and be comfortable at their jobs. And right now, for one particular employee, you're making it very uncomfortable, buddy. You know? That workplace shit, I never been with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very, very bullshit stuff. I never been with that. But let's watch this go down for a little bit more. Let's listen to Ethan talk about how it's your fault for being mad about this.
Fairies that float around and drop pixie dust wherever you fly. And just you leave a path of happiness and bliss and euphoria in your path. Because you've never been angry in your fucking life. Right, Tom?
Never.
Never.
Tell me,
once.
You get angry, Tom?
Tell me that is not some dog shit. Like, that is some dog shit. And then, actually, I think I might have even left this one part out. Let's get to that clip of the unedited one. I'll show you guys that now.
I guess we should talk about
because I think we might have actually glossed over it, going to the next timeline. So now Dan's going to bring up, this is the first time they brought up the button. I'm sorry, I apologize. We're going back and forth. Ethan brings it up. He says, oh, yeah, these things happen at work, whatever. Now Dan wants to put his 2 cents in and talk about it. And then they show you the actual feed.
Dan has something he wants to say. Yeah, Dan has something.
Well, if you're not going to say it, listen, we have...
Dan has a thesis.
Oh, so I have a thesis here. The way it all played out yesterday with the button glitching out, it glitched out in this specific way that genuinely made it seem way fucking worse than it actually was in the room. Now, obviously, once we realized that it was broken, like, obviously it's embarrassing. I'm not even going to say that. And it was cringe. From a outsider perspective, if we could step away from it for a second, the way it played out, it is cosmically unfortunate how it happened. Because basically what happened is the button removed the 20 seconds leading up to what everybody heard on the episode.
I got anti-buttoned.
You got anti-buttoned. And so what that means is, A, it didn't have the full context, and B, the conversation was hidden behind the button screen, so you couldn't really see, like, the mood in the room as it was being said.
Okay, let's get over that. You know, long story short, you guys heard what he said. I'm sure you guys aren't deaf. The button cut out a little chunk of it. So now he wants to show the real footage because he thinks that we're gonna get a different perspective out of it. I'll warn you guys now, we don't. It's pretty much seems exactly the same. It seems like Ethan is kind of being an asshole to these guys. Gila's backing up Ethan, all because they want to get to their kids. Mind you, like I said earlier, they showed up late. They had AB do this whole big PowerPoint. They kept sidetracking the whole entire thing so that they couldn't end up getting to finish it. This is where it all stems from, okay? So now check this out.
That big a deal and is kind of funny. So
here's Dan. Okay, go ahead.
So this is what actually happened in the room.
We should have just ended the whole thing. We were at the end.
Yeah, we can. Let's end it. You want to tell me about his scam shit?
No words.
You mean finish it all up today?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, we're close enough.
Final words.
We got 10 minutes. Do we watch this?
Like,
So this was all
final
seen.
words. Like, I have a Discord and people.
Fuck me.
Like, people that join my course, they can use. They get access to
Why
a
fuck you?
Discord.
Look how Olivia's the only. Look at Olivia. Look how sweet she is. Can you switch
Wait,
to
why is
Olivia
it
real
cropped
quick?
all weird? I don't know why.
I've been watching him work on it for it's really good.
It's okay.
Really good.
Thank you,
Bro,
Olivia. That's so sweet.
Yeah, you're so red. This is how the show works. We ran out of time.
Yeah. No, I think we covered most of it.
Doing it.
What are you?
See, right there. This is why I don't think that we're getting a different perspective here. You watch back, right there, Ethan's like, well, this is how the show works. I mean, we're running out of time. You could have smoothed that out and just kept going. We're running out of time, you know? But let's play these next couple ones and try to get through as much as we can in the next 10 minutes, and then I got to go. I'm sorry, guys. Bam. Perfect way to finish it right there. Instead, this guy wants to slam on the button, try to make the audience unaware of this whole situation, and he wants to chew AB out in front of everybody. Like, if it's happening and it's awkward, smooth through it, buddy. You're a fucking host. That's your job. Then when it's finished, you can talk about the shit afterwards. And you're right at the end of the show. But nah, instead you want to get a couple licks and you think nobody's hearing it. In my opinion, that 20 seconds that got cut out and the fact that we couldn't see it did not change a fucking thing, okay? That's just my opinion. So let's watch back. I want to show you that. Make sure you pay attention because, like I said, you can see it's a smidge awkward, but it's nothing that cannot be smoothed over. Instead, it got handled in a completely wrong way, in my opinion.
Watching him work on it for it's really good. It's
okay.
Really good.
Thank you,
Bro,
that's so sweet.
Yeah, you're so red. This is how the show works. We ran out of time.
Yeah. No, I think we covered most of it.
Doing it.
What are you doing?
So awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Just like this is what I'm talking about when it's always like.
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I was just talking about finishing
On
Wednesday.
Friday, maybe. Is it?
You guys like.
All right, I'm taking my hand up. And the button didn't work.
Okay, to me, in the moment, and even watching it back right now, I mean, obviously, it's a private conversation, so it's embarrassing that, it was overheard by the audience. This was a, come on, man, like, we got to get out of here moment.
No, it wasn't. It was not a come on, man, we got to get out of here moment. Ethan paused. AB was getting ready to say, yeah, I guess we could finish it Wednesday. Bam, dude slams on the button. I'm going to fuck you up. It didn't seem any different than the way we perceived it. As a matter of fact, it almost went exactly how I pictured it. I pictured it happening exactly like that. I pictured a couple more punches, but it went pretty much exactly how I thought it did. So we didn't see some like new perspective. There's not any, this was a different moment than what you guys thought it was. This was AB getting fucking chewed out for a very petty fucking reason. And now you're going to listen to Dan defend Ethan. Listen to the bullshit that comes out of this guy's mouth. This is crazy.
It wasn't even like a chewing out, but it's being perceived that way. I think the button cut it right after AB said, like, fuck me, right? And then it just cuts to that screen and you're hearing hushed tones. And to me, when I watch the stream, I'm like, Jesus, that does seem bad. And then when I watch this, I'm like, oh, okay, this is just like a minor moment.
No, still seems bad.
Me, right?
Yeah, my point was just that like I didn't want to make it awkward, but we had to leave. You know what I mean? And whatever. That's a thing that me and AB will talk about privately and we'll work on together as professionals. I'll say,
people saying it's still bad. Do you guys? Who are these people? Do you have jobs? Like,
No,
what are you talking about? It's a minor spat. Like his boss got mad at him and said something real quick, but it's not like he chewed him the fuck out. It's just not that big a deal.
All right. I want you to hold on to what he just said. This right here I thought was very disrespectful on Dan's part, who normally is kind of holds it together in these types of situations. To sit there and go, oh, the chat is still saying that, oh, it was fucked up. Like, who are you guys? Do you guys even have jobs? Like, are you guys even like real? Like, you're fucking NPCs, man. Those people in those chats are more than likely your members. They're people that are more than likely paying a good chunk of what you and Ethan both make. So, yeah, those people got jobs. As a matter of fact, they're quite literally more than likely the only people paying. So to sit there and talk shit to them, it's crazy. Think about it like this. Creators don't tend to think about it like this. I'm a regular guy. I have this show, but I'm just a regular guy. The show's not even that big. When I'm scrolling through YouTube, I'm not subscribing to everybody that I like. I'm not even commenting on every video that I like. So the fact that you're getting these chats during the live, those are people that are legitimately dedicated to your show. Because it's not going to be just some random passerby that's going to be like, let me jump in this chat real quick, start voicing opinions. That's not how the shit works. Anyone passing by is going to either go, this is good or this is bad. They're going to get into it a little bit before they start voicing their opinions. If they're not, they're fucking psychotic. But I can guarantee you, those psychopaths are not making up the majority of your chats during the live stream. Those people are your dedicated fans. So now, to defend Ethan, you're taking a big old shit on your biggest supporters. To me, that seems a little sus. It seems like you guys are really trying to save face because you really do believe that this was a fucked up situation. This is like the behavior of somebody who's so far in denial that they will say anything to justify their point. And he's clawing at the wall, trying to get anything he can. And it's not really working out. I think that's fucked up. Let's listen to him say this shit again. This is fucking crazy to me.
We'll work on together as professionals. I'll say,
people saying it's still bad. Do you guys? Who are these people? Do you have jobs? Like,
No,
what are you
I don't
talking
think so.
about? It's a minor spat. Like his boss got mad at him and said something real quick, but it's not like he chewed him the fuck out. It's just not that big a deal.
You guys have jobs? You guys even know what the fuck you're saying right now?
Sometimes I don't know how fucking cringy and ridiculous I sound.
Look at that. I love that soundbite. That's Tony Hinchcliffe right there. I got that inspiration from I Got Worms 88, the listener who gave me the submission for Tony earlier in the episode. That he gave me that idea subconsciously. I got inceptioned by a fucking listener. I don't even know what the guy looks like. Somehow I got implanted on getting this soundbite idea from his listener submission. Look at that. So
sometimes I don't know how fucking cringy and ridiculous.
Little late on the soundbite, asshole. But yeah, you submit stuff and you might end up getting a soundbite too. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, so right there, Dan is insanely out of touch. To hear that shit is kind of crazy. And then to listen to AB Stockholm Syndrome is even crazier. Watch this.
You're out of fucking time. Hey, I'm out of time. Listen, I say this with peace and love. It's got to end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get both your perspectives. I mean, it happened.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Exactly.
I think it was my fault because I didn't acknowledge.
Yeah.
I didn't acknowledge Ethan's tattoo yesterday, and I think he's a little upset about it. Your tattoo is great. I love your tattoo.
Aw.
Tell me that's not fucking textbook Stockholm Syndrome. That's insane. He's still trying to save face for this guy by making jokes. And the look that he has in his eyes when he's like looking at Ethan, like this guy legitimately has Stockholm syndrome. He's like infatuated with his captor. It's kind of fucking crazy to see this. It's insane. And Ethan trying to save face with the crew doesn't make it any better. So one thing I noticed while watching this was they have recently had this like this skit where Dan reads the traffic report, and Zach will come in with this like soundbite, and then they start reading the traffic report. But the point of the joke is to always interrupt Ethan. If Ethan's in the middle of something, that's when they bring the traffic report in. They just fuck with him, which a lot of people think is hilarious because it's the boss getting his comeuppance. You know what I mean? The crew, they get a nice little joke. It's very innocent. They get to really be creative with it, and they really beefed up the skit after letting it marinate for a couple of weeks because they didn't want the skit to get old. Once they brought it back, Ethan really started going out of his way to like fuck the skits up. So because he's mad that he's not the center of attention for like 45 seconds. So now that you have that information, mind you, they just started redoing the skits like last week, the week before. Every single time Ethan's tried to foil it. Now, after this AB situation, during this episode of them talking about the button situation and quote unquote apologizing or whatever the fuck it is that they want to call that, they're doing a segment for the traffic report, and Ethan wants to join the crew in this. This is crazy to see. Watch him trying to save face with the crew.
Find me, such as animals, plant, and fungi. Absolutely.
There you go.
Toss it back to me, please.
And tossing it back to you, Ethan. Here you go.
Groundhog Day is coming up, guys. It's a countdown. 156 days, 9 hours, 58 minutes, and 10
Only
seconds.
156.
Guys.
Now, see, remember I told you, normally Ethan would be doing whatever he can to fuck this bit up. Like, it got to the point to where the sound guy muted his mic. Ethan fucking damn near fired the guy. So he ends up going to Dan's mic. He has a cell phone. He's playing fucked up videos in the audio. Very good stuff for the listener. Everybody loves to listen to that. Just crazy, ridiculous, aimless audio that like nobody can really comprehend. Everyone likes to hear that. We have a term for that in the business. It's called ear rape. Okay? Nobody likes that shit. So now he's trying to save face with the crew. He's doing the Groundhog Day report on the traffic report.
Guys, we're moving up on. The clock is always ticking, so keep your eyes peeled. Sunday, the 2nd of February, 2025. We'll be looking out for that shadow. Until then, guys, I'll keep you posted. That is the next Groundhog's Day, as you can see. And if you're wondering, 2016 will be the 2nd of February. 2017 will be the 2nd of February. And 2020.
All right, nobody gives a fuck about the traffic report, but let's give a round of applause to Ethan Klein for, completely debasing himself and finally giving in to his deeper desires, his want to really take it out on his employees. Happy Labor Day to the crew over at the H3 podcast. Let's turn on some music and take a couple of hits. Get a little bit of a music break here, and we'll start talking about the next group of jamokes that we're going to talk about. Ooh, yes. Such a short little transition song that is, but it's nice. It's not the worst, you know what I mean? So who do we have next on the docket? We have a little bit of Logan Paul, We got a smidge of Kill Tony. Tony Hinchcliffe had Whitney Cummings on this last episode of Kill Tony, and it was not really a lot of stuff to talk about in there, but Ari Matty, the Estonian assassin, got real creepy on stage with Whitney, like to the point to where I was like, yo, this bitch better call the cops. This guy got really loose with his words and started talking about bodily fluids and wanting to drink them coming out of Whitney, all sorts of wacky stuff. We'll talk about that in a little bit. is that the H3 crew is having to deal with all that toxic workplace environment. You know, I could not imagine having to deal with that. You know, I don't put up with any type of workplace toxic bullshit ever. You know what I mean? I went into work last week. The head supervisor comes up to me. He says hi to me. He said it the wrong way. I didn't like the way he said hi, right? I went straight to HR. I called him twice. I called HR twice over that. You know, I called the first time to report it. And then the second time when I called, they were like, "What? Yeah, what's going on? I thought you already reported this." Yeah, I said I wanted to make sure you guys got it on file. Did you? Can I get a confirmation email? Can I get a confirmation for the confirmation email? I really want to make sure that I'm not having to deal with that shit at work anymore. You know what I mean? So the next time that motherfucker even looks at me the wrong way, I'm calling the fucking cops. Uh-oh. Yeah. Wasn't really the best smoking song, you know what I mean? Thank God I was talking over that, because kind of didn't really work out all that well. But yeah, let's get into this Kill Tony. So like I said to you before, Tony Hinchcliffe, we had Whitney Cummings on the show. And with that, we had Ari Maddie getting real creepy around Whitney. Something that, is very, very normal behavior for a foreigner from such a crazy area, you know? Like the last, and I say that with love. And I say that because a lot of the shit came out of his mouth. The last time I seen him on Joe Rogan Experience, this guy was talking about how when he was little, you know, where he's from, men, women, children, they're all using the bathhouse. You know, it doesn't matter. So all this like, oh man, this person's too young to see some puss. They don't believe in that where he's from. They let it all out. So it doesn't matter. You know, there's no like boundaries over there. So when you get someone like Ari Maddie, see someone like Whitney Cummings come on stage with her fake tits popping around. He sees that she has a real desperate attitude despite the fact that she's rich and famous. Of course he's going to start making passes at her. Like, what do you think this is? So I wanted to bring that up. But first, just like any other time we bring up Kill Tony, we got to check out Tony's fucking crazy cringe-ass intros.
Sometimes I don't know how fucking cringy and ridiculous I sound.
So let's start with that. Watch this. Tony comes in, as usual, doing the fart waft. You know what I mean? Last time we talked about Tony, he wasn't doing the waft. It didn't even really seem like he was that into the intro. This one, we get a little bit more of that Kill Tony energy that we love so much. Check this out.
Hey, this is Redmond coming to you live from the Comedy Mothership here in Austin, Texas for a brand new episode of Kill Tony. Give it up for Tony Hinchcliffe!
Who's ready for the best fucking night of their lives?
Wait, what? I fucking missed. My bad, folks. I was getting too into that intro. Look at Tony. He's about to do the waft. Come on, Tony. He's got to smell him. Oh, he did a kiss. Listen to this. Listen to this intro he does real quick. Listen to this lazy bullshit.
Who's ready for the best fucking night of their lives?
Yippee! That's how cool Tony Hinchcliffe is now. He doesn't even have to really put any effort into that intro. Who's ready for the best night of your fucking lives? Oh, the band takes it away. They do the whole thing. And then he gets on the mic and says the gayest thing that you're going to hear all night. Listen to that. Yippee! Yes, look at this. Look, I love looking at Tony's vest. We have another new vest. This one's white, right? And as always, the collar's up. which I don't necessarily hate on. But he's wearing like a skin tight black turtleneck underneath. He's almost trying to do like a Steve Jobs type thing, but he's putting his own spin on it. Funny thing is, one of my last videos I had posted on the clips. We post clips here too, folks. I got an interesting comment from someone. They brought up the fact that Tony wears the vest. They tried to defend me talking shit about Tony's vest. They said Tony only wears the vest because Tony concealed carries. He concealed carries a gun, so that's why he wears the vest. Guess what? I conceal carry every single fucking day. You wouldn't even know I had the fucking thing on me. And I'm wearing t-shirts, fucking tank tops, the whole night. I go outside naked. I still have the gun on me. Don't ask where I'm keeping it. But trust me, if I'm leaving the house, I'm checking my mail. I got that fucking thing on me. I'm not wearing vests, not ones that look like this, okay? So that comment debunked right away. You didn't realize you were talking to a real one, did you? Okay? So getting away from that, let's get into Whitney's intro. As always, you know how these comics, they get like another comedian on. They go, this is one of the greatest comics in the world. She's put in all the work, all the effort. She's a fucking beast. Every comic, every episode, every new guest, they always say this stuff. They had Jordan Peterson on 2 weeks ago. Tony's like, he's the greatest comic who's ever lived. Jordan Peterson's not a comic. So it's every episode they do this. They butter the fuck out of each other, right? Nobody can ever just go, she's a friend of mine. Thank you. Let's have her on stage. Let's get it over with. You ever watch Whiskey Ginger with Andrew Santino? Every single episode, his intro, he goes, my next guest is one of the greatest comics in the world. I know I say that about every single guest, but I really mean it about this guest. Thank you very much. And so he's even making the joke out of it. We all are lying. They're all lying. The only comic that a comic thinks is good is themselves. They don't give a fuck about anybody else. It's the only reason they got into the business. So let's listen to Tony's intro. He buttering up Whitney with that good old butter. He's giving her that butter.
And gentlemen, joining us here tonight, one of my favorite comedians in the world, a true comedy store fucking legend. We started together. She's a monster. You know her from all of her hit specials. Literally one of the best comedians in the world. Make some noise for the great and powerful Whitney Cummings. Yeah.
You hear him, how he had to say it twice? Literally one of the best comedians in the world. He's like started running out of steam of shit to say to butter her up because he's like lying to himself. You ever start saying something and you know you're fabricating what you're saying, but you start to get guilty, and in the middle of talking you start to almost like pull back a little bit because you're like, this kind of feels like shit coming out of my mouth. I know I'm not telling the truth. It's kind of what he's doing right now. He's like running out of steam because he's like almost coming to grips with himself. He's like, fuck, I'm lying about this bitch. And like, I'm feeling bad about it, telling my audience this stuff. So he doubles up. He goes, literally, she's one of the best comics ever. Listen to this.
Comedy store fucking legend. We started together. She's a monster. You know her from all of her hit specials. Literally one of the best comedians in the world. Make some noise for the great and powerful Whitney Cummings.
There she goes.
Yeah.
Yes. Whitney's in the house.
Hello.
Hello.
Sometimes I don't know how fucking cringy and ridiculous I sound.
I love that fucking soundbite. Listen to Tony. Hello.
Yeah. Whitney. Hello. She's back.
And this guy's going to try to tell me that he's not fucking gay? This is hands down the gayest man I've ever seen. And I've never even been to Austin. So there's Whitney's intro right there. Oh, they talk about how she's getting ready to move to Austin. And that, I'm sure, is just nails on a chalkboard for anybody who lives there. But let's get into the time code with Ari Matty. So he gets on the stage, you know what I mean? He's the regular, the first regular. They're the ones that open up the show. It's a rotating slot. So it could be Ari this week. It could be Drew Nickens. God, that guy bombed hard as fuck in this goddamn episode. I'll let you watch that one on your own. I can't even put that through. I can't even put you through it. It's so ironic how they always bring Drew Nickens on. Tony always starts out bringing Drew Nickens on by saying, this next guest, we always like to bring him out when everybody else on stage bombs so that he can save the show. And then Drew Nickens gets on there and has a fucking massive goddamn bomb fest. Like, insane, dude. So now let's get back on track. I'm sorry. So now Ari Matty, this is his rotated slot. He's the one opening the show. He does his minute. Whitney's like, oh my God, this guy's the funniest fucking guy ever. Ari sniffs that out and he goes, ooh, maybe I might be able to make some moves here. Let's watch Ari maneuver his way around Whitney Cummings. Watch this.
Go. Let's go.
And keep my mouth shut.
That's right. You're getting to a part of success where you're only going to be able to get erect if someone's pissing on you.
Yes.
Shit gets weird when you make it. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot about that part. Tony, a little sus. This guy, see, they always say comedy comes from a place of truth, right? So this guy, he's on stage, he's like, Ari, you know, you get into that famous part, you know, you're going to be fucking so many of these hoes out on this goddamn, on these tours, you know what I'm saying? You know, eventually, regular sex ain't going to do it for you, bud. So you're going to have to start up in the game. And if you want to take advice from the best, I'm going to tell you right now, piss, that one will really get you up there. You know what I mean? You get on the floor, you get that bitch to squat over you and start fucking raining down hell and brimstone on you, and that'll really get you rock solid. And then you could really make the room stink. So, you know, I feel like this is something coming from Tony that you know, it's very truthful. I don't know. It seems like he's making a joke, but he might have a little bit of experience there.
Oh, let's go.
And keep my mouth shut.
That's right. You're getting to a part of success where you're only going to be able to get erect if someone's pissing on you.
Yes.
Shit
Yes.
gets weird when you make it. Oh,
Yes.
Okay. You guys are going to get... Okay, I'll shut up then. I won't give you insider secrets.
Well,
Insider secrets. I forgot he even said that.
I'm a toilet.
That's right. Absolutely.
Every liquid you make, Whitney, I want in my mouth.
Absolutely.
What the fuck was that?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Look at this face. That man needs to be locked up. Look at those eyes, dude. He's honed in. Every liquid that you make, Whitney, I want it in my mouth. I want to drink it all the liquid. You got the pee-pee. I want it in my mouth. He's getting real riled up over this. I mean, for a comic, Whitney's kind of hot, but I wouldn't go as far as to say she's pissing my mouth hot. You know what I mean? That's a little fucking nuts, if you ask me. But, yeah, this guy is like really throwing on the creep charm here. Watch. If it'll play.
Correct if someone's pissing on you.
Yes.
Shit gets weird when you make it. Oh,
Yes.
Okay. You guys are going to get... Okay, I'll shut up then. I won't give you insider secrets.
Well, I'm a toilet.
That's right. Absolutely.
Every liquid you make, Whitney, I want in my mouth.
Absolutely. And there's only one flush. There's only one flush on that toilet, and it is right down the gullet. That's right. And it comes out of a second hole. That's the interesting thing, is that if you take in someone else's urine, you pee that out.
Oh my God, these are fucking life-changing epiphanies coming from Tony. He's like, man, well, if you drink the pee and then the pee becomes the pee, you double down the pee, but then you pee it out. Now, what happens if she drinks that pee? Are you tripling down the pee? Does it get diluted or does it concentrate down? he's like trying to really like piece this all together in his head. He's like, does it lose any of the mineral content? Does it become more yellow? Or does it get clearer as you keep drinking the pee and then making it into pee? At any point, do you become pee? This guy is like really fucking losing his way off of this shit. I kind of find that to be hilarious. But I really want to finish smoking this joint. So I'm going to end it on that one. I want to once again thank you all for watching Lost Aux Media. As always, we'd love to have you. Let's get a little bit of music out. Oh, look at that. That was the intro from last week. I like that. But yeah, we always love to have you. Make sure to check us out at youtube.com/@LostAuxMedia. That's youtube.com/LostAUX Media. YouTube videos go up every Wednesday at 4 p.m. and the audio episodes go up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you catch your podcast at 5 a.m. That way, on your way to work in the morning, you can listen to the episodes, and when you get home from work, you can watch them. That's just the way we do it here. But until next time, as always, thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Really new or diverse new audience, new stars are going to rise out of it because they're going to be celebrating different ways. This is spikes in viewership when XYZ goes on.